What's up, guys, and welcome to this video where we're going to be discussing what to do before a new patch comes out. I get this question all the time, and I see a lot of people who struggle with this, and it's a very simple process if you just sit back and you think about it. Okay, so the main thing that we want to do before a patch is we want to make sure that we have enough gold or materials to get ourselves through the patch. Especially with it being the final patch of the expansion, we want to understand a couple things. One is that there's always going to be a lot of alts that pop up during the last patch of an expansion. Mainly because once all the content's cleared and we're waiting for that new expansion, we're going to be trying new tunes. Our guild might have us main switching in the next expansion, or if we want to main switch, this is where it's allowed. If we're going to level a couple alts to do some fun things with, or have, a PvP alt or a PvE alt, depending on what your main is. This is where all this stuff happens. Not only that, but you'll also be upgrading all your gear for your main character. So what you need to understand is that this happens every expansion, every patch. What happens is the same. And this is it. Everybody needs gems, everybody needs enchants, and everybody needs food flask pots, okay? It doesn't matter whether you're PvP or you're PvE, most of the higher end players, that's what they have. They have to make sure that they're fully gemmed, fully enchanted, and that they have, their potions, their flasks, their 300 foods, or whatever the new stat food is, doesn't matter. They always have to have that. So farming this stuff, especially between patches, and holding on to it is a key component to making a ton of gold in World of Warcraft. And a lot of the more advanced players in this game and the more mature and veteran players in this game are going to be a little bit upset with me for sharing tips like this with you guys, because this is how a lot of us make a ton of gold. And we do it every single patch, and then we don't really have to farm for the rest of the patch. We will literally hoard a ton of materials, whether it be enchanting materials, whether it be blacksmithing for the new, the new PvP gear, whether it be jewel crafting if there's new gems coming out, or just whatever the highest gem is that we're going to be using. We're just hoarding all this stuff. Stacks of pots, stacks of flasks, stacks of food, stacks of every single thing that you can imagine that would be useful for when new gear hits. We want a ton of it. The biggest thing that I've seen is the food mats. A lot of people don't want to go out and farm food and fish and just kill, for example, in 5.3 going into 5.4, nobody wants to go kill raw Crocolus, or farm raw Crocolus belly from the Crocolus. Nobody wants to do it. They're so outrageously expensive on the auction house. But if you spend about a half hour to 45 minutes out farming them, you can get 3 stacks, 4 stacks, 5 stacks of this food that goes for 20 to 30 gold per food. So you're looking at 500 to 600 gold per stack of food, and this is before a patch releases. So imagine once a patch releases and you have all these players coming back to try out the new stuff, to try out the new spells, to get to their new season. They're back, they're playing again. They all have to buy all this stuff, right? So this is when you see this huge influx of players come back, and this huge influx of the economy where everybody's buying. Well, this is where we're making all our gold, right? If we've been playing, we've been setting ourselves up right. When that patch comes out, we're posting all of our stuff, and we're watching it sell just instantly. I mean, just selling like hotcakes, everything that we have. And we're gonna make a ton of gold compared to if we would sell it from, that 2 to 4 week period before a new patch comes out. And it's not that it's a bad time to sell, it's that we will make way more money if we just hoard it, and then we wait until that patch releases and people start buying stuff. As soon as we see the prices start to go up, we're posting our stuff in there and we're watching it fly off the shelves. Why? Because it goes a lot quicker. You make way more gold than it costs, and especially if you can farm the materials, it's free gold, and you're going to have enough gold to really set yourself up for whatever you want to do going into the new patch or the new expansion, whatever it may be. In the background behind me, what you'll see is a few different things that I've been doing. Okay, so one, you'll see the farm, then you'll see my my bank alt, and how I'm starting to hoard all my mats. Okay, so I've got tons of mats that I've been farming for enchants, because I want to be able to sell a bunch of enchants for tailoring, for my potions and my flasks for my alchemist. I'm trying to hoard everything that I can off my farm, off farming and everything else, so that way when the patch comes out, I can just go throw all that stuff on the auction house. Now the main thing that you want to take care of first, however, is the fact that you want to make sure that your main tune, whoever that may be, is all set and ready to go. So whatever tune that you're planning on playing the most in the new patch, make sure that that tune is ready to go. What does that mean? You have a couple stacks of flasks. Because what you really want to do is you want to make sure that you don't have to go buy them that first couple of weeks, okay? That first couple of weeks when a new patch comes out, you don't want to have to go buy flasks or food or gems or enchants, because people like me are selling them, okay? And we're selling them at stupid prices because we know that you have to have them. You have to have them to get into your raids. You have to have them to be super competitive in your BGs. You have to have this stuff, and we all know that. So we're selling it. So keep that in mind, is that make sure that your main has all his stuff. So like today I spent a ton of time farming and making 300 food for coming into patch 5.4. So I've got a ton of food. I've got over 150 or 160 food lined up, ready to go, so that way I can go through a couple of weeks before I have to actually go refarm or just rebuy more food. Potions, again, I've got 200 to 300 potions that I want to have on my tune before the patch comes out. Why? Because right now I can farm it for cheap, or I can buy the mats for really, really cheap. So I'm making them all and hoarding them all on my main tune so that he's all set. Same thing with flasks. A couple stacks of flasks, you're good to go. So keep that in mind, guys. The other thing that you can do if you want to be really frugal about it is go onto the PTR. You can actually find out what gem slots that your gear is going to have that you're going to want, and you can actually go out and get all the gems for your gear and get all the enchants for your gear now, because it's cheap now. And then that way your guy's all set. You don't have to spend any gold on your main guy. All you have to do is make it, and you're going to save yourself a ton of gold by doing that. So keep that in mind, that that's another really good thing to do. Now, as far as Mists of Pandaria and patch 5.4 go, which is the upcoming patch when this video is coming out in a couple of weeks, what we want to do is we also want to make sure that we have lesser charms. Now, in patch 5.3, you can do what they call Baron's Charm Farming, which I have a short clip of behind me of where it's set up, how to set it all up, and then how to do it. It's just a quick clip of me showing you guys just how you can set up a charm farming group with 4 or 5 people, and in about an hour, hour and a half, you can get 200, 300, 400 lesser charms depending on your luck. But you can get an absolute ton. Think about it this way: if you get 400 lesser charms, and let's say it takes you 2 hours, okay? 2 months, you don't have to farm a lesser charm. You can go out and do whatever you want to do when the new patch comes out, because everything's all set up for you. You have no worries. You have nothing you have to go do to farm to get ready for a raid. All you have to do is go out and enjoy the content, because your guy is all set to go for the new patch. And those are the little things that really make a difference. Now, the other way that you can get a lot of charms is, it's a little bit more tedious but a little bit more fun, is pet battling. As long as you're level 90, you can start getting lesser charms through pet battling, and you can either do it against other players or you can go out and farm pets. And I've got clips of that in the background as well, showing you actually do get lesser charms. It ranges from about 2 to 5, and you don't always get them, but when you do start getting them, they do add up really quickly. It's not quite as easy as Baron's farming, but you can get a ton of lesser charms, and you get some achievements in the process. So it's up to you how you want to charm farm. But guys, these are just some basic tricks of pre-patch, what to do. You will make a ton of gold doing this. You will be all set doing this, and you won't have to worry about spending a ton of gold or an arm and a leg when the new patch comes out. You'll be the one making all the gold this time around. I hope you guys like this one, and as always, we'll see you in the next one.